Not right now. Also, hello, Nyoko. Hello, Chow. Hello, Paris. Hello, Caitlin. Sick Okami 3 prediction. Wait, did I predict Okami 3 in that video? Did I? I mean, if you guys want to watch the Pantsu Hunter video, we can, because, well, let me pull myself up here and I'll explain. Hi. I'm late. I know. But we are ending late tonight. We're going to go until 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So a couple of things. I was late because I was out and about doing errands and shopping and stuff, and I was in a game store of mine. I went to go pick up my pre-order of or put in money for my pre-order of Monster Hunter Wilds. So yes, I have the game is secured. I've secured my copy. Now I know what some of you are gonna say. I've said before. I stand by what Jakey says and stop pre-ordering games. But one, this is a franchise I really care about. That's wild. Yeah, they're funny. And two, I'm pre-ordering from a local game store, so I'm supporting a local game store. So I think that'll be all right. For a bit, I'm doing a lot of things at the moment. Yeah, no worries. Nobody when I put that thing out, nobody was like it has to be here. I just was like I'm gonna be doing all the stuff today, and if anybody and then if anybody wants to chime in and be like, this time will be better, this time will be better, we can. So if if I'm in the background, Chow, I'm in the background. That's cool with me. This is gonna be a chill stream. Yeah, support small business. Yeah, I actually the one that I pre-ordered with the store that I pre-ordered with it usually is Iceman Games. They're a Toronto company. They've got stores all around Ontario, but they're Toronto based. And I pre-order with them. Four things at once right now. Pff, that's fine. Am I one of those things? Wink. Anyways, no, yeah. So I ever since the EB games that I really liked, physical copy. You are not playing on stream. No, I'm going to be playing it on stream. I have a PS5, so I went and when my local EB games that I really liked because my town used to have several EB games, and now there's one, and it's the really shitty one. So I almost never go in there unless I'm in the area already. When my favorite EB games closed, I was like, well, that's it. What do I got? And one of the options was Iceman. Not until my re-debut is finalized, maybe. See, I mean, is it? It's crossplay, Yoko. This time they announced it's crossplay, so it doesn't matter what you play it on. There's two reasons why I didn't pick PC. One, it that I couldn't get the beta to work on my Steam Deck because apparently the Steam Deck's graphics card is the equivalent of a 1050 Ti, and that game, Monster Hunter Wilds beta, has an issue where you can't see anything. It's just a black screen. So, and two, it's just going to be hard to stream and play the game at the same time. And three, fuck Danuvio. That's all I'm saying. So I got it for PS5. Besides, even if it wasn't cross-platform, my normal people that I play with, they're all getting it on PS5 anyways. So I got it on PS5. I wanted a physical copy, and I wanted to support a local business, so that's why I pre-ordered with them. But I was in the game store. I was looking at some stuff. I was talking to some people too, and then I looked down and I'm like, "Good heavens, look at the time!" And that when I sent that tweet or that thing on Blue Sky saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be late," it was like quarter after 4 when I was supposed to start, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be late." So on top of that too, it was Starfield Space Ghost slash Bill's birthday. It's his birthday today, but we celebrated it last night. So there was some alcohol in my system, and we cleaned up a bit of the place. There's still some stuff I gotta clean up. I'm gonna do the dishes and gonna clean up a few other things when I'm done this stream. But Yeah, I had to. We had so much recycling. I had to go and drop my recycling off at the recycling center, and I was out in a bit anyway, so I went out and did a couple of things while I was out. Um, and then uh, I was like, hey, I've got a little bit of extra money. Why don't I go put in my pre-order for Monster Hunter and take a look at a few things? I did get a couple of other games too because I want to take advantage of the no sales tax. But my main thing was to get my pre-order for Monster Hunter in. So when the game comes out on February 28th, I will be streaming Monster Hunter Wilds that night. So because I'm gonna pick it up after work because Fridays are half days for me, so it'll be half a day. So I will be streaming that game. I am gonna be doing the beta. The next beta test is happening during the debut next week, so we'll be playing that half days. Yes. Hi, Leah. Very excited. Yeah, I'm excited for this Monster Hunter game. I got the Steelbook edition too, so because I'm a whore for Monster Hunter. Because I don't know if did I tell you guys how much I spent on Monster Hunter World. Like you guys probably don't understand. Like I'm an old school Monster Hunter fan. Like I've been playing since the first game on PS2. It's my second favorite game franchise of all time. I was playing it before any of y'all were playing it, most likely. I played and so like I got the collector's edition of Try when it came to Wii, which not much. It just comes with the Classic Controller Pro for the Wii. So, but that's cool. I still wanted it. I got the I bought I bought Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate twice so I can get it on Wii U and 3DS. Yeah, exactly, Caitlin. And normally I don't, but Monster Hunter like Steelbook, the Steelbook edition, I was like, I'll get that for that. But let's see. What? So I bought 3U twice. I bought oh God, what was it? I bought I bought the collector's edition of 4U on 3DS because it came with a figure and everything. And I actually my 3DS and then my new 3DS XL, I bought the Monster Hunter Generations edition. So I bought Generations on 3DS with my new 3DS XL. And then I bought it on Switch when Generations Ultimate came out, which I've been playing on Wednesdays if you guys have seen. And then World came out and they had this like big collector's edition that came in a big box, a figurine, this beautiful book, beautiful hardcover book. It was $200 Canadian, and at the time I was making good money, and I was like, "This is going to be the biggest game this franchise releases. I need the collector's edition." So I got the collector's edition of that in this big giant box. That's Canadian prices, by the way, $200 Canadian. So yeah, and then Rise. I didn't get I think that's the first time I didn't get a collector's edition because it came bundled with the Switch. So, by the way, I got World on PS4, which is what it originally came out for. So I thought it was funny because when my friends started playing Monster Hunter on all my other friends, like in the VTuber community and stuff, playing Monster Hunter on PC, I was like, I've already finished like the expansion. Like I was done the game, so I wasn't gonna buy it again. But then a friend bought it for me. So I've been playing World again on PC. And then when Rise came out on PC, I was going through the Sunbreak on Switch. So I was already like, well, I'm already playing. It sucks because like the last few games, I get punished for buying the game early because everybody else is buying it on PC and I'm just not going to buy it a second time. Now, technically, if you get Rise on Xbox or the Microsoft Store, you can have crossplay between those consoles. Or if you buy Rise on PS4 and PS5, those consoles have crossplay. But there's no crossplay between Switch, PC, yada yada. And everybody's I know is playing it on PC. But I got it on Switch and I was basically almost done. So like I would love to play Monster Hunter with people, but they don't have it on everybody has it on PC and I don't. So that's been my dilemma. But now with Wilds, because they introduced crossplay, none of that shit matters anymore. I'm also still kind of shocked that a lot of streamers are buying like multi-plat games on PC and then want to stream it and then have problems because they're trying to stream a game while playing it on their I don't know. I guess the VTuber community confuses me because they'll get this big, like, they'll get this PC for doing all their VTuber stuff, and then they'll buy all their games on PC and then have to lower the quality of the game because they can't stream, use their VTuber software and OBS and play the game at the same time. Whereas I'll buy a console version and then it will look great and whatever. But some people also have like beefier PCs than I do. Like my graphics card's a 2060 Super, which is not top of the line, but it's not nothing. I think there's one game I found that requires a 20 series card. Like it's absolutely as a minimum, like one or two games. So it's not been a big deal. Capture card is an additional purchase. Yeah, but you can get a capture card now for like $20. My backup capture card, which I might be switching to because my Elgato is. I'm not happy with Elgato. I bought this Elgato capture card years ago, mind you. I have the HD60S. PS5 is like 100 feet away, but Leah, you have no excuse. I mean, the other thing too is collabs. Like everybody's gonna have it on PC. It's just easier that way. And so yeah, I do have some games on PC and whatever. Shut up. Actually, like just real quick. Here's the $20 one. Yeah, I have that one as well. The only reason I'm not using it, still using my Elgato, is because that's my backup card. So if my Elgato shits the bed, I have one.
You got a refresh
card. Twice.
I love my PS5.
The same capture card, but I don't have a 100-foot HDMI cable. Why don't you just put the PS5 closer to your PC? I'm assuming you're using the same monitor for it, right? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know your setup. Everybody's got a different setup. I just use like the Elgato 60S and the $20 capture card, which I do want to do a video on talking about that because I think a lot of people don't know about that. Is in my TV in my living room. Oh, okay. Well, Leah, did you know that you can remote play your PS5 to your PC? In fact, there's people I know who don't even have a capture card, and that's why I do it. That's why I have so much, like... It shouldn't be that much if you're on... if both your PS5 and your... well, I guess if it's in your living room, it's probably not on Ethernet. It's probably on Wi-Fi. So, yeah, if you're on Wi-Fi, yeah, I get it. If it's on Ethernet, it shouldn't do. I was actually surprised. My brother, when he came to visit, not during Christmas, but during the... PS4's little Blu-ray player in my bedroom. Hey, there's some good PS4 exclusives. Caitlin, if I come to visit you, I'll bring you some PS4 games I think you'll like, of the wink variety. My people. What was I to say? My brother came down during the summer. He bought the PlayStation Portal. He got it on sale, and I was surprised at how good it was at being able to, like, how clear it was and how well, like, there was so little lag. It was negligible. I'm sure if I played a fighting game, I would feel it, but it was negligible. But I was surprised by how good it was. And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, if it's like $200, maybe I'll get one. But like for what it goes for here, which is like $299, it's like that's a console. That's how much, like that's almost as much as my Switch cost. When I got my Switch, it was $399. Now I got games with it, but that's how much. Canadian dollars, by the way, Canadian dollars. And oh man, the Switch 2. Like, I'm gonna be doing some content about the Switch 2 soon. But man, like I hope they don't sell it for like $350 because it's going to be like $450 for us here in Canada or more. I always wanted the PlayStation TV, but Amazon canceled my order for it, and I never found one again. Caitlin, if I find you one, I'll get you one. I have one, but you can't have mine. My brother even tried to buy mine off me. He's like, "Can I have it?" I'm like, "No, it's mine. I haven't used it in a while, but it's mine." But I've seen them enough that I could probably find one for you if you really wanted it. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So anyways, with all of this said, I've got my pre-order for Monster Hunter in. I will be streaming it the 28th, the day it comes out, probably with my regular Monster Hunter friends. If not, I'm sure I can find somebody to play it with. Play Vita games, and the Vita has such a good library. Yeah, and a lot of the games will work like just out of the box on the PlayStation TV, even if they have touchscreen functionality. You just need a PS4 controller in order to play those games. Uh, the PlayStation TV will work with a PS3 controller, but if it's a game that requires touchscreen and it's compatible with it, you have to use a PS4 controller. So just keep that in mind if you get one. But you have a PS4, so you probably have a PS4 controller. Like Tales of Grace's F, you have to use the touchpad to simulate touchscreen. But no, yeah, it's great. You can also mod the PlayStation TV now to like make all the games supported, and they have added touchscreen to touchpad support because a lot of developers didn't put that in their games for some reason. I don't know, probably because it was too expensive to do it. I don't know, but you can do that too. So, anyways, yeah, Monster Hunter, I got it. We're gonna start the stream off probably watching something because I I realized it's getting close to like it was gonna get close to like dinner time, and I didn't want to like stop in the middle of the stream to go get food. So also just going back to my roommate's birthday party, we got he's not a big fan of cake, but he loves cheesecake. So for his birthday, he got red velvet cheesecake, which was great, and we had some last night. But then his girlfriend bought him another cheesecake. And so I'm having a slice of that, and I needed something to do because I didn't want to just make you guys wait for me to eat and then not have a stream going. So I have some a video up. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with LGR. You went through Wendy's drive-through. I got Arby's because I was thinking Arby's because Tab Salad told me he had Arby's today, and it was on my mind. So I grabbed a couple of Arby's sandwiches for dinner. I gotta have that roast beef, if you know what I mean. Boy. I'm gonna just do that. So anyways, if anybody in the chat's familiar with LGR, if you don't know what that is, it stands for Lazy Game Reviews, hosted by Clint. Greetings and welcome to an LGR thing. If you don't know what any of that is. Anyways, there's a series he used to do called Tech Tales, where he talks about like history of like computer stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of them, and I'm going to let you guys pick the episode that we watch, because I want you guys to, maybe you guys will learn something. Maybe you won't find it interesting, but I love documentary style like stuff like that. And so I decided this would be a great thing to watch. GR, I love his depressing Sims reviews. It's true, isn't it? Because he knows the inevitable. Because Sims 4 will be lasting forever. His depressing Sims review. It's fun. I haven't watched all of them, but the ones that I'm like, yeah. Anyways, we're going to watch LGR Tech Tales. Which are talking about like tech history essentially, mostly computer based. So maybe you guys will learn something if you haven't heard of this channel. If you have and you're already familiar, you probably are just gonna be interested in what I have to say. But if you haven't, you guys might learn something today. And I find computer history very, very, very exciting. I love computer history, so when I see videos like that, I do it. Hi, Sab. So I'm going to throw it on, and I'm going to throw it up, and then I'm going to let you guys pick which one you want to watch. So let's just switch over to my stream screen here, and I'll just move this over here. So let's see, I need to move something here. I like the tech where Chrono and Frog both run out and make an X with their swords. Oh God, don't remind me. I still need to finish Chrono Trigger. So for those of you who haven't been here since before I was a VTuber, I did a full stream. I was doing a full playthrough streaming Chrono Trigger, and I saved in front of the final boss, or just the area before the final boss, and I lost my save data. So I literally was at the end of the game, and I lost my save data. Now, so I haven't gone back to it. I do want, like, I just feel like I've never finished Chrono Trigger, and I just that was just a kick in the balls at the end. Like, I lost my save data. So what I've thought about doing is maybe playing one of the other versions, because I do own both the PlayStation and DS versions of the game as well. I know the PlayStation version isn't the best because of the loading time, but I'd be willing to suffer through that because it has some other improvements. The DS version is going to be difficult because I don't have a DS capture card, so I would have to use the big E, unfortunately, but I own a physical copy of the DS version, so it's not too bad. I also know it's on PC, but I'm not. I've seen bits of the PC version. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. So maybe I'll try to play the original again if I can, but just using like a multi card or something, so I have an easier chance of, so I won't lose my save. I fill out some of the playthroughs pre VTubing. Yeah, so I do want to finish Chrono Trigger. I never did. I do want to finish it though. So version is a big buggy and is missing a couple of the FMV cutscenes. Ah, okay. Well, I mean, the original Chrono Trigger didn't have FMV cutscenes, so not a big loss for me. But I've considered the PlayStation version because it seems to be one of the better console releases. It just has loading times, which I can live with. So, or the DS version, but we'll figure that out at some point. Like I said, I do have the DS version. I could play that version, but I don't have a capture card for my DS, so I'd have to use the big E. So yeah, that's something that I'm thinking of. But let's go ahead and let's see. Where's the window capture here? Okay, so that is the right size. So let's see. Let's go over to LGR Tech Tales. Okay, guys. So we have here are the episodes we have to choose from. Y2K, how the 60-year-old IRS computer system failed on tax day. The first robot ever arrested in 1982. Bonzi Buddy. Blue LEDs. Why big box PC games disappeared. The life and death of Madcats. A two-parter between Quantum Link and AOL. And then there's one about General Magic, one about Motorola, which is really interesting. The tragedy of Ego Computer. Okay, so there's a lot of like random ones, like E-machines, a lot of stuff. One about John McAfee, Pocket Calculator Wars, which was a whole thing I didn't know existed. Dell computers, OS2, 3DFX and Voodoo cards, digital research, and Osborne's Rise and Fall. So some of these sound probably kind of neat. The ones that I particularly like is I like the Y2K one. I like the IRS one. Bonzi Buddy's fun as well. The Mad Cats one, the Quantum Link AOL ones are good. Oh, and I also forgot High Tech Expressions. They were the ones who made the Mega Man PC games. And the Motorola ones are good. And E-Machine. Like, a lot of these are great. The McAfee one is crazy. So, there's lots to choose from. If you guys aren't sure, I can just pick one and we can watch it. Personally, I really, really like... I think Bonzi Buddy's a really good one to start with. Because of how it talks about... Or the Y2K one. Either one. So, Sab, we're going to be watching LGR Tech Tales for the first bit of the stream because I got to eat my dinner, and rather than make you guys wait, you're still waking up? Okay. Rather than make you guys wait, we're going to watch a video about computer history. I'm going to teach you guys about computer history. And I didn't put the teacher model into the water dough. Oh, God. Oh, God, I keep forgetting that Halsey's going to kill me because I still haven't used that model. She made it for me and everything. Nobody tell her. Nobody tell her that I haven't used the model. Oh, fuck. Nobody tell her. Anyways, it was supposed to get ported to my 2.0 model, but Nyoko hasn't done it yet. He's busy working on the Dragon model. That's the best excuse I got. Anyways, so, oh, there's Nyoko. Hi, Nyoko. Forgot that he's here. I'm not blaming Nyoko. I'm not blaming you. You're a busy man. You're busy, red-headed cutie. Shut up. What model was it? I had an ad. Oh, I'm surprised she never told you, Caitlin. Halsey made me like a office lady slash teacher model, and after I made it, I sent it. I asked Nyoko if we could put the outfit on the 2.0 model, and Nyoko's like, "I'm too busy." I'm like, "Okay, we'll do it another time," and I just forgot about it because I'm dumb. But don't tell her I haven't used it yet. She might be a little upset with me because I haven't used. She worked hard on that and I haven't used it yet. We had this conversation like a year and a half ago, Yoko. I was like, "Can you put this on the 2.0 model?" And you're like, "I'm busy." I'm like, "Okay, I want to. I'll ask later." And later never came because I forgot. I also forgot, so it's not on you. It's on me. It's 100% on me. I forgot. Besides, you're busy working on my new model, anyways. Turn in forever. It's fine. No, 2.0's. Yeah, the one I'm using right now is the 2.0 or 2.0, 2.5, whatever the fuck this is, whatever version this is. Version 2 point whatever update revision we're on. 2.69. I don't know what version you think it is. You're the one who's been updating this thing since like. Anyways, we won't worry about that's another outfit we'd have to put on it, so. But then Femboy is its own thing. It's not version 3. Meaning to update my 3D model, maybe fix it up a bit. Is that from the is that Pi or are you quoting Star Trek? That's not Pi. Pi starts with a 3. That looks like a Star Trek quote to me. That's E. Nerds. It was supposed to be, but I forgot the 7. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, you know what, guys? Let's start with the Bonzi Buddy video. I think that's one of the best ones to start with. That's what we're going to do. Okay. While I eat my cake, my cheesecake, and my sandwiches. You guys ready for this? I'm going to do it. I'm going to press the button. And I pressed it.
The year is 1999 and the internet has just been introduced to Bonzi Buddy.
Greetings. My name
Anybody
is
remember
Bonzi.
this?
How are you today?
Before the YouTube videos, endless memes, and unscrupulous reputation, it was just a simple freeware program. One that promised to help users search the web, keep an itinerary, and even tell jokes and sing
I saw
songs
so many
to keep you company.
commercials of this
but by
thing.
2004, the jig was up, and people wanted nothing to do with Bonzi Buddy. With its deserved reputation as being a manipulative piece of adware that spied on its users. And yet, even after the public backlash...
Just real quick. I used to see ads for this on TV all the time. For like when on Fox. Specifically, I used to be a big fan of the show. This is probably gonna surprise nobody, but I was a big fan of the show America's Most Wanted. I don't know, there's something about like criminals fascinated me when I was a kid. I'm surprised my parents let me watch it. But they played so many commercials for this during that show and during other shows I used to watch on Fox. But they never advertised it during Fox Kids or Fox Box or any of that time because they knew what they were doing. They knew that they didn't want, because if they told kids about this thing, like kids who like were watching in the morning, they would go download it on their parents' computers and then they'd have trouble. And watch it for the chases. See, it's funny because like Cops was on after America's Most Wanted. That's another thing I would love to do. I'd love to do like a watch along of America's Most Wanted. That show doesn't exist anymore, which sucks. But I don't watch TV anymore anyways. But I'd like to do a watch along of that. I obviously can't do it on Twitch. I'd have to do it somewhere else, but that'd be fun. Because some of the criminals are silly. Anyways, they would advertise the fuck out of this during that show, and then I never really got. whenever Cops would come on, it would be like late, and I wasn't as interested in Cops. I wasn't interested in the chase part of it. And so like it was on in the background usually because America's Most Wanted was the show I watched. It was on in the background usually, and because they would be America's Most Wanted would be on Saturday nights. I would watch it like every Saturday night. It was like one of my favorite shows. But I didn't really care for Cops that much. Cops, if it was on, I'd watch it, but I'd probably be playing my Game Boy or something while I was it, or getting ready for bed, something like that. But America's Most Wanted, I could talk about forever. Anyways, first I remember Windows 2000 PCs because my mom got one when I was 5. Sab, please, for the love of all that is anime thighs, stop reminding me how old I am. Thank you. Anyways, let's watch the
In
video.
legal trouble that sank the company, the people behind Bonzi Buddy still have an online ad business running to this day. What happened? This is LGR Tech Tales, where we take a look at noteworthy stories of technological inspiration, failure,
I'm going to be
and everything
37 in a
between.
few months.
This episode tells the tale of the internet's favorite hated downloadable assistant, Bonzi Buddy. Our story begins in 1997
I know, but you're
with
causing
the
me
release
emotional
of
damage.
Microsoft Agent. This was a software package distributed through Windows 98 and the Microsoft website that allowed for the use of interactive animated characters. The idea was to make computer interactions easier and more natural
These are
by
coming
using
back.
a conversational system instead of the traditional Windows menus and desktop metaphor interfaces. While it began as an offshoot of the actors in Microsoft Bob, the high
These are coming back. There's like anime girl ones now. And when we upgrade to Windows 98, ooh. The Miku one, yeah. Beefy enough to handle that, and this is when I started playing around with Linux anyways. Ah, okay.
profile failure of a Windows shell released
Probably
2
gonna be
years
playing around
prior,
more Linux soon.
Agent was a separate product entirely. Each
remember
of the
the
4
dog.
agent characters could communicate with
don't
users
remember
through
the parrot.
interactive speech bubbles, voice recognition, and text-to-speech functionality. The whole idea was to do what Microsoft Bob failed at and bring virtual assistants to computing. And these were included in everything from Microsoft Office 97
So funny, 'cause that's what AI does now.
Paperclip, aka Clippy, to Windows
this was more
XP's
fun.
search function in the form of Rover
Get a
the
little
dog.
guy on your computer.
But while Microsoft intended for these freely released agents to be used by everyone to improve the computing experience, others saw the potential for more profit. Enter the Bonzi family, and specifically Joe and Jay Bonzi, who started their own company in 1993, Bonzi Software. Since 1995, they'd been selling a $30 piece of software called Voice Email. Ambitiously declaring itself the next wave in online communications, Voice Email was a browser software plugin that lets you record and compress short sound recordings and send them through your email provider of choice. It was successful enough to support the product with multiple
that was good
updates
cake.
for years, but eventually standalone email clients like Eudora started including similar functionality as well, taking away some of Voice
Eudora,
Email's thunder.
yeah.
It was around this time that Microsoft's agents started gaining
I think the
traction
best
with the
GUI,
release of
yeah,
Windows
was-
98 and
was
Office
like
97,
98
as
ME,
well as a sizable number of
95.
websites and independent programs built
Windows
using the
2000.
technology. One of these programs was Bonzi Buddy, first released by Bonzi Software in the latter half of 1999. And really, it wasn't anything particularly special. For one thing, there were tons of these agent-based desktop assistant
Yeah, it's
applications
crazy how many of
flooding the
these
internet
things
around
were
the same
existed.
time, several of which went
I never used any of these, but I saw that these things existed, and I saw how many there were. I don't know. Even as a kid, I was like, "There's something about this." Like they would advertise Bonzi Buddy. I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," but like something. I was like, "There's something about this. It's not right." Because when I think the first time I really started like, because we didn't have internet until I was like 13, or maybe 12. Until I was like 12. So the first computer we had was, wait, hold on, 2001. It was like 2000, 2001. So I would have been 12, 13. More commonplace in my house when in 2006, because I remember 2 years later I was playing Wizard 101 a lot. YouTube was in its early years in 2006. I made my first YouTube account in 2005 because I wanted to be able to embed videos on my MySpace page. That early 2000s era of like internet, like it was so wild. is so wild, and it's interesting to think back to that. But yeah, no, even when I was a kid, like when I had my first computer, I was 12, 13, I was like, something not right about these things. There's something sketchy about them. So, and now they're all done with AI. So we know what's sketchy about them because they're collecting your data. You're teaching it by giving it your data willingly. So,
to
anyways,
step further by using their own custom characters. By contrast, Bonzi Buddy didn't even include its own artwork. It simply took the files from the existing Petey the Parrot package from Microsoft and called it a day.
Hello there. I don't believe we've been properly introduced. I'm Petey.
But Bonzi Buddy soon set itself apart. In May of the year 2000, the next iteration of Bonzi Buddy was released and featured the titular Bonzi, a pre-rendered 3D purple gorilla sporting a globe, sunglasses, and a goofy grin. While it did similar things to other
This was the
agent
most popular one,
applications
though.
like keeping you informed of your schedule, the latest news, and popular websites, Bonzi Buddy was free. Although, Bonzi Software stated on its website that it was for a limited time only and would normally cost $40. That, however, was misleading at best. For the entirety of its existence, Bonzi Buddy remained free with the threat of a $40 version looming overhead, lest you question its value. But the bigger thing that made Bonzi Buddy so appealing for a time was the fact that it had a personality of sorts, along with a text-to-speech engine from the Microsoft Speech API 4.0 package.
I got a little baby, but she's out of sight. I talked to her across the telephone. I've never seen my honey, but she's mine alright. So take my tip and leave this gal alone.
This was somewhat useful as a way to have the text of websites and emails read back to you, but it was also a source of easy and free amusement for those with less mature inclinations. However, as enjoyable as Bonzi Buddy could be, especially to young children, there was a dark cloud behind the silver backlining. The first sign of shadiness came whenever you set up Bonzi Buddy for the first time, and it required you to enter lots of personal information to register the product.
I think that was one of my first red flags. Is I'm like, I have to put my information in. Because even back then, even back in the early 2000s, I was like, I knew as a kid, you never put your information in anything. You never do that. Because you don't know who's going to be looking at it on the other side. Now we have end-to-end encryption. So having some of your personal information available on things is fine because it's encrypted. But we hear all the time about leaks of information, so it's getting less and less protected. I mean, PayPal, if you have a business account on PayPal and you don't hide your address, anytime somebody, if you're a streamer or something, anytime somebody gives you money over PayPal, they can see your full address. And they don't tell you how to hide it. We had to figure this out our own. I don't like it either, Caitlin. I don't. But some of it's like a necessary evil sometimes. Like if you have to ship anything, I will say I don't use my actual address for when I get anything shipped. I have a separate mailbox that it goes to. And the reason for that is because I don't like, I'm not really super afraid of getting doxxed. What I'm super afraid of is somebody finding out my house, and then my house is hard to find. Like there's multiple houses with similar addresses as mine in this area. I'm afraid of somebody getting a package of mine and it being like if somebody does something like devious, they get a package, they send me a devious package, and then somebody else in my neighborhood gets it instead of me, because then they're at risk. That's really why. That's why I'm concerned, but need to put my real info on PayPal. I gave it my username. If you have a business account, you have to have a physical address. So I have a business account that's separate from my personal account. The business one goes to my box. It doesn't go to my house. Someone was going to get your XXX or XXX. No, I mean, if my 10-inch purple dildo got delivered to somebody else's house, that would just be funny. Don't ask why I have that. Don't ask why. Anyways, back to the video.
It may have seemed innocent enough, after all Bonzi Buddy would use some of this information to react to you personally, but accusations of this being spyware arose when it was found that this information was being transmitted over the internet in potentially problematic ways.
Of course
The
it
next
was.
sign of something foul were the questionable pop-ups that occurred when Bonzi Buddy was running. Specifically, these pop-ups looked just like Windows system error messages, and when clicked, they would refer you to a program called
And they would make it look so close to an actual dialog box. Like, if looking at this now, I can tell it's not a dialog box, but with a little bit of like HTML and CSS know-how, you can make those things look really close. And so the average person would have no idea. Like, it would just look like a dialog box. But like, unless you had know-how, even as a kid, like, I didn't install the software, but even as a kid, I could tell the difference between one of these and a dialog box. A virus nowadays. Yeah, pretty much.
A program that, uncoincidentally, was also made by Bonzi Software and cost $49 a year to use and make the fake pop-ups go away. Bonzi Software disputed these claims as being overblown, stating, "All we are trying to do is grab your attention the same way the employee outside Walmart does, by telling you what's on sale as you walk in." But the accusations continued, including an article in Consumer Reports on October 21st, 2002, which labeled Bonzi Buddy as spyware, and specifically a...
Now, to be fair to Bonzi Software, that their Internet Alert software was legitimate antivirus software. However, the way they advertised it and got people to buy it was super scummy. On top of that, them selling you an antivirus or anti-spyware software to erase their own spyware is also super scummy. I've never known a Walmart employee to do that either.
A backdoor Santa, due to how it serves ads, frequently prompts users for personal information, tracks all usage, deposits icons in the startup folder, system tray, and on the desktop, repeatedly resets the browser homepage to bonzi.com without asking permission, and leaves components behind after users use its uninstalled program. There were also accusations of Bonzi Buddy being a Trojan horse in some situations due to its backdoor downloading of additional unwanted software, such as the infamous click-till-you-win spyware that infected the Windows system folder and registry. Then came the legal trouble. In late 2002, a class action lawsuit was brought against Bonzi Software for its, quote, diabolical scheme of displaying 300 million deceptive pop-ups in Bonzi Buddy. This was settled the following year, and while Bonzi Software paid $170,000 in legal fees, they didn't agree to remove the pop-ups completely. Instead, they would make them slightly less deceptive by doing things like placing the word advertisement on top of them and making the OK button say more info. But the real trouble was just over the horizon, when in early 2004 the United States Federal Trade Commission found Bonzi Software guilty of violating COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. Due to the way Bonzi Buddy required users to enter their personal information and how many of those users were under the age of 13, they were deemed to have knowingly collected personal information from children without first obtaining parental consent. This resulted in a fine of $75,000 for Bonzi Software and was another huge stain on the product of Bonzi Buddy. Combined with the growing accusations of it being malware and appearing as a threat to virus scanner and spyware removal programs, the writing was on the wall for Bonzi Buddy. By August of 2005, the Bonzi Buddy website and servers were shut down, and Joe and Jay Bonzi had quietly moved on to other ventures. Although they didn't go very far. In fact, they continued doing business at the same location as Bonzi Software had, 3000 Broad Street, Suite 115 in San Luis Obispo, California. And the new business they started there, 2K Direct Incorporated, continues to operate to this day. Their main service is iPromote, which is, surprise surprise, an advertising platform that specializes in targeted online ads. Their ad expert engine acts as a middleman to sell and show ads on services like Facebook, LinkedIn, Amazon, WebMD, and YouTube. And amusingly, one of their biggest current clients is Microsoft, whose agent software helped kick off this whole Bonzi Buddy trip in the first place, and now relies on the same guys to push ads through Skype. Which brings us full circle with Bonzi Buddy, a program that
That's so
started off
fucking
as an
funny.
asset flip, turned into a viral hit, earned such a bad reputation that it was cancelled, and then oddly enough became a viral hit once again about a decade later. Bonzi Buddy may not have expanded as big as other memes, but it certainly had a surreal time in various subculture spotlights
Yo,
over the
who
past
else wants that
several
Bonzi
years.
Buddy
There are
amiibo?
even fan sites that recreate the
It comes with
original
actual
Bonzi
spyware on
software
it.
page and provide downloads to the software once again. And because the ad servers shut down when Bonzi software did, Bonzi Buddy itself doesn't really connect to anything at this point and is now considered as benign spyware at worst. But if you want to experience it again, or for the first time, by downloading it, do yourself a favor and use a virtual machine. Some pieces of software truly are better off left in the past.
Always, 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 if you're going to test old software, create a virtual machine. If you don't know what that is, a virtual machine, essentially, is an emulated version of a computer. But it's shut off from the rest of your computer. Like, typically they can't connect to the internet. Typically they can't do things like access your main drive files. They have their own separate like ecosystem that they're in. So, virtual machines are also great for running old software or like old games and stuff. Like, if you have a game that like, say, like, it would run on Windows XP, but wouldn't run on Windows Vista or 7. You could make a Windows XP virtual machine and play the game within that in its own thing. Those guys do trick spam colors and text energy. Yeah, exactly. Anytime you're using any old software that's no longer supported by Windows, I always suggest people use a virtual machine. Unless, like, it has absolutely no connections to any server or internet-based things. Like, the version of Photoshop I use, and you guys are going to see this, is version CS2. It's old. It's stupid old. It's like 15 years old. But I use it because, one, I can't find my copy of CS5. And two, I refuse to pay for like $15+ a month to get Photoshop and deal with their cancellation fees. I'm actually looking at another piece of software I'm going to be switching to. But CS2 is free. Like, not like as in like I pirated it. No, they gave it away for free because they shut the servers down and Adobe had no way. And Adobe got so many complaints from people who were still using it that they couldn't access their software because that they paid for, because when it would connect, it had DRM. It connected to a server. And so they re-released CS2 without any server connection. So you can get the full version of Adobe, the entire Adobe Creative Suite 2 for free. Now, they realized the problem they made because all you needed was an Adobe account to download it. And they realized people like were like saying, "Oh, this version of Adobe CS is free. It's older, but it's free." And at the time, they were trying to get people to buy subscriptions. And I think this is just when they started doing like Creative Cloud stuff. And so they're like, "This is only intended for people who purchased CS2." But there was nothing stopping people from downloading it. And if they made it available, I mean, it's on them. And so eventually they just took it off their website because they saw what people were doing. But it has been archived. These software like I use for Alpaca for graphics. There's one that I'm actually considering switching to. I was going to install it and use it today, but I don't want to like bog down the stream by me trying to figure out how to use software on my own. So I'm going to be using CS2 today, but I will eventually be switching to something else because it's hard because I'm very much an old dog or old cat in this case, trying to learn a new trick. And like my biggest problem is I want to switch to DaVinci Resolve for video editing, but I'm so used to Vegas and how easy it is and how like how nice it is with its timeline and how easy it is to edit video in, that I'm just so caught in my ways that going to switch to something else that is so like comparatively not as easy to use is just really difficult for me. Like if I had started video editing with DaVinci Resolve, I'd be fine. But because I'm so used to, like, I've been editing video for over 20 years, guys. like over 20 years. I've been editing video. Like, so, and I've used the same software that whole time. Um, hey Lance, I'm good. Enjoy your lurk. Um, and so when people ask me what video editing software to use, I say Vegas Pro, and they go, "Oh, why are you using that?" And I'm like, "Cause it's easy, and I can get shit done." And when people like to look at Vegas Pro like it's lesser, but I'm gonna be honest, anything you can do in Premiere or Final Cut or any of the premium softwares you can do in Vegas. You just have to do it a certain way. That's the thing. I've figured things out. I figured out how to do things in Vegas that are not standard, but are available in like other softwares. So when people like go, "Ugh, you're using Vegas," I'm like, "Yeah, look at all the videos I've edited." And then they're like, "Oh, that's actually pretty good." I use Epic History Parodies in Movie Studio 7. Yeah, I remember you were telling me about that. To get you to give me a Vegas tutorial at some point. Yeah, Caitlin, Caitlin, I'd be more than happy to give you a one-on-one tutorial. There's also Vegas has a ton of like um free like tutorials on YouTube. The only problem is a lot of them are for older versions of Vegas. So, and I'm using Pro 18, which is not the newest. I think the newest is Pro 22. But I'm using that version because it went on sale for like $20. So, so the funny thing about about Movie Studio is I've been using Vegas so long, there were no multiple versions. The first version of Vegas I used was Sony Vegas 6. There was no Pro, there was no Movie Studio, it was just Vegas. Everything was all in one. And then Sony decided with version I think 7 or 8 that they were going to separate them into Pro and Movie Studio versions, which I thought was a scam. Like you offered everything in one forever, and now you're not doing it. But nowadays you can get Vegas my version of Vegas that I got, 18, I got it on Humble Bundle for $20. So, like, okay, I have both Movie Studio and Pro, but I don't use Movie Studio, but I had that license if somebody wanted, like, if I needed to put it on another machine or something. Yeah, don't admit that out loud, Sab, please. I'm just going to delete that. Oh, you're fine. Just, I'm not letting anybody get in trouble for it. I mean, I know statute of limitations at this point, but still, don't admit that. Don't admit that in my chat, please. We're all out of exactly. We are. And Lance, I saw your message. But yeah, no. Vegas is so cheap now, and you get all the stuff. You get their music editing software too, which is it used to be Sony Acid, but it's something else different now. I haven't really used it much, but it has the same timeline as Vegas. So, Fox, what is the law? I am the law. Anyways, let's continue this video, and I'll continue my sandwich. Oh, wait, right, I'm in the wrong window. Oops.
Or at least a protected, virtualized version of it.
Oh, that was the end of the video.
I do find it strange.
So I am still eating my sandwich. So I'm going to pick another one of these to watch with you guys. We're going to watch, what one I think you guys would really like. Let's watch the Madcats one. That's the support big. Aw, thanks, Lance. Thanks for the resub. We're going to watch the Madcats one. Is this a sandwich or is it a song? I'm going to play the video now.
Madcats, the brand unceremoniously thrust upon younger siblings and Player 2s the world over, often derided for subpar controllers that felt just as cheap as much as they looked absurd. But before that, Madcats had a history going back almost 30 years, with them being responsible for...
Okay. Look at that dick.
that, Madcats had a history going back almost 30 years, with them being responsible for all sorts of award-winning flight sticks, steering wheels, gaming mice, instrument peripherals, and even their own micro console.
I forgot about
One
that.
quarter of the entire game console aftermarket was claimed by Madcats alone in 2006, and yet it obviously didn't end well for them since the company declared Chapter 7 bankruptcy on March 30th, 2017. What happened? This is LGR Tech Tales, where we take a look at noteworthy stories of technological inspiration, failure, and everything in between. This episode tells the tale of Madcats, the prolific purveyors of plastic peripherals.
I love his
The year is
alliteration.
1987, and the video game market is exploding. Devices
It's so
like
good.
Nintendo's Entertainment System were leading the charge of the video game industry's 40% annual growth rate that year, and it showed no signs of slowing down. This caught the attention of a small group of engineers in Hong Kong who saw this rapid growth as a great investment opportunity. Games were growing at such a rapid rate that third-party manufacturers
that
could
fucking
easily
controller.
swoop in and lay claim to underserved gamers with niche product
I
ideas.
know people who have that.
So these
The Freedom
engineers
Stick.
decided, hey, why not latch on to some of that success using their skills and connect?
I love that, by the way. The Freedom Stick. Impossible, but I love videos and talking. It's nice to learn stuff. Yeah. Does anybody? It's made by Camerica, a Canadian company. Do y'all feel free now with your Freedom Stick? I like playing with my Freedom Stick. Also, my stick is freedom.
So these engineers decided, hey, why not latch on to some of that success using their skills and connections in Hong Kong, China, and the USA?
Yeah, we
They
can totally
spent
do
the
that.
next 2 years laying the groundwork for design, manufacturing, packaging, and distribution, culminating in 1989 with the founding of Madcats Incorporated.
I'm a mad
There's
cat.
seemingly no stated reason behind that name, but their goal was to provide third-party products for video game consoles at a low cost to both them and consumers, and they accomplished this by outsourcing 60% of the work. Manufacturing was handled by a firm in Shenzhen, China,
Yes.
and the design and marketing was
Yes,
handled by a
Lance, I am.
satellite office in Southern California near San Diego. This not only ensured they could manufacture the required electronics for a crazy low price, but the American side of the business ensured they had an ear to the ground of their largest target markets, the US and Canada, eventually leading to the company being headquartered in San Diego. Madcat's first product is tough to pin down precisely, but two of them were these turbo controllers for the NES and Sega Genesis. These were sold under the High Frequency label at first, which was the in-house brand for the Toys R Us retail chain in North America.
Oh, that's crazy.
The way this worked is that the product and marketing were conceived by Madcat's office in California, and the design was sent to their contracted facility in China to be manufactured and shipped out as an original equipment manufacturer or OEM product. This method meant that Madcats could develop
That
their
is
own
a sick
designs in-house
Genesis
and
controller,
then
though.
sell it themselves under their own brand or as a generic item to whoever paid to stick their own logo on it. And while this didn't make them a fortune immediately, it was enough to continue to grow the company throughout the 1990s. They made game pads, screen
Okay.
magnifiers,
Okay, that Mad Catz SNES controller
continued to grow the company
is one I
throughout
actually
the
did want.
1990s. They made
It's actually really sick. This is what I love about the early Mad Catz controllers is they all have turbo functionality for all the buttons. Like, okay, this is actually I think is a Sega Genesis controller. This might be a 6-button Sega Genesis. Well, maybe it's both. Maybe it's one of those dual controllers because I have one of those. That's both SNES and Genesis. Because I'm noticing it has shoulder buttons. The Genesis doesn't have shoulder buttons. I could every controller they'd be flipping those switches like the multicolor. How to say you're neurodivergent without saying you're neurodivergent? Yeah, those switches are like fidget nightmares. Like, I think with a controller though, I do less fidgeting because I'm like I know what I want my stuff to be. Like, imagine having one of these to play like Mega Man or something, and like, oh, I only want the Y button to be turbo, so I flick a switch to make it turbo. That'd be kind of cool. But I do want one of these at some point if I can find one.
Game pads, screen magnifiers,
I had
steering
that.
wheels, dust covers, joy
screen
pads,
magnifier.
power adapters, flight sticks, memory cards, light guns,
I had the
carrying
memory
cases,
cards.
hardware.
Actually, my main memory card, I'm pretty sure for my PS1 is a clear green Madcats one, and it still works. It still works great. My brother had that whole thing with the back plate with the speaker enhancer on his Game Boy. He had a yellow Game Boy Color. That was the only difference. And it had like joysticks and stuff. They were crazy. The memory cards were A1. What does that mean? What do you mean by A1, Zab? It was good. Yeah, their memory cards actually were pretty good. I actually had a multi-memory card also for PS1. Well, my brother and I shared it because we each used different ones. It was one of those ones that had an LCD screen and you could like switch between the memory cards. It was very useful for like making multiple saves of games.
Abominations, the list goes on and on. Sure, they were cheap, but they worked, mostly. And their product line was so pervasive that it was hard to ignore them when you went to a game store looking for a new accessory on a budget. By the latter part of the 90s, Madcats had grown to over 100 employees while partnering with over 12,000 retailers worldwide. And with the onslaught of new game consoles set to release across the next few years on into the new millennium, investors were eyeing Madcats with piles of cash in hand. It was the Ontario, Canada-based GTR Group, formerly known as Games Trader Incorporated, who completed the acquisition of Madcats on
So they became a
August
Canadian
31st,
company.
1999, for $33.3 million. Wow. Madcats remain headquartered in San Diego, however, and work quickly began on several new projects. One of these was the BioForce, a device that sent 16 milliamps of electric current to shock and temporarily immobilize players' fingers when they got hit in-game.
Wow.
Apparently the press member...
Okay. There are streamers who would use this now. There are VTubers who would use this now. Like, just imagine for a second. One of your favorite VTubers who plays Elden Ring. Full Elden Ring or Dark Souls run with one of these controllers. Every time they get hit, they feel the hit, so they don't want to get hit. They use shot collars now or stuff. We need to find one of these controllers and just put into like Filian's mind or some other big VTuber who likes to do these kind of challenge runs that these exist and they should get one. You can do the haptics to a shot collar. Yeah. But like, imagine this doing this to your hand. So like, not only if you get hit, it's going to shock you, but you're probably going to let go of your controller. So you're going to get hit again. Imagine that. So whatever VTuber is I don't want to say it's stupid enough, but is gullible or wants to content farm as much as they can we should tell them about this. Philly was the first one that came to mind because she does dumb shit like this all the time. And she would probably buy one of these. Only one brain cell. I like to think that I have two. And they're down there. They're on my chest. Both of them. See? Anyways.
Immobilize players' fingers when they got hit in-game. Apparently the press members that got to try it had fun with it at trade shows, but suffice to say, a device that electrocutes kids never made it to market.
Yeah.
A more successful new product for them was the MC2 and Mario Andretti racing wheels, both of which earned several Best in Category awards from industry magazines and websites. Madcats also ended up releasing a dozen licensed controllers and peripherals to coincide with the launch of the Sega Dreamcast in 2000, which led to a perceived increase in the brand's value to consumers. So GTR Group decided to rebrand themselves as Madcats Interactive in 2001, closing down the other parts of their business to focus on new console launches in North America, like the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, and the Xbox. Another slew of new products.
The Madcats macro and micro line. So, if anybody remembers, Madcats had two lines of controllers that they released during this era. They had the macro ones, which were bigger controllers, and then they had the micro ones, which were smaller. I was never a fan of the GameCube controller, but the Madcats micro version, which I do own, which I found recently, is like way better in my opinion. Like Sky's not here, so she can't hear this, but I find the GameCube controller very cumbersome. I used it because it functioned as a controller, but I always was like, I'd rather use something else. So when I got the micro one, I was like, oh, this is way better. We got microcontrollers fit my small hands. Yeah, exactly. Like in this era, the good to see through the plastic, right? They did a lot of those. I have a white GameCube microcontroller that I keep in my office / bedroom because a lot of my controllers go missing because they get lost in different parts of my house. I don't want to lose that one. That's my good GameCube controller. I don't want to lose that one. So I love the micro line. I think I also have a micro Xbox one as well. And it's my favorite Xbox controller, original Xbox.
Products came flooding in from wireless controllers to third-party dance
I also
pads
have
to
the
higher-capacity memory cards.
I also have one of the
Then in 2003,
I also have one of the red PS2 Madcats controllers. Now I don't use it as much because it's worn in. Some of the buttons are really worn in on it, especially the triggers. So I guess I could probably open it and clean it and probably fix it. But the reason I got that controller is because it came with a controller extension cable on top of it. So one, new controller. Two, I got an extension cable so I can play way further from the screen. The green PS1 one, I have the red one. God, I have the red PS2 one. Caitlin, if you ever feel like trading that, I love green controllers. Green's my favorite color. I don't know if you know this. Even though I'm purple. Even though I'm a purple cat, green's my favorite controller. I would love to do a video on Madcats controllers at some point because I do have a decent amount. And I'd like to talk about the good ones because people only think of the bad ones. Xbox 360 controllers green, nice. I have my standard ones. I have a blue wired 360 controller, which I still use to this day, made by Power A, and it has a backlight. It serves no function. It's because I know where the buttons are, but it's a backlight. It's kind of neat just to have a backlight on your controller, but I use it all the time. I have the purple PS2 controller in storage. Oh, really? Damn. I want to do a video on controllers. Like, if I can find all my stuff in storage, I want to do a video on, like, good third-party controllers, because I think I've had problems with so many first-party controllers, and especially in the last generation of consoles, that I'm like, I want to do a video talking about the good ones. PS4, like my one good PS4 controller, which I cannot find. It's my Darth Vader one that came with my console, the Darth Vader PS4. It still works fine, but I don't know where it is. My two other PS4 controllers I bought, like these are official ones. I got weird stick drift in the left stick, and it's not like it's drifting. The problem is if you press up on the control stick, it just doesn't go. It jitters. It's like I'll play a game and the character will just like start walking and stop, start running and stop, start running and stop. It's like going on and off and on and off. And so I bought some third-party ones. One that was really nice, but it stopped working after a while. And I got another one that's actually really, really good that I like. I really wish you could use the maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe you can, but I really wish you could use the DualSense with the PS4. Now, mind you, I have a PS5. I can just play my PS4 games on PS5, but I'd like to have the option to use a DualSense controller. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but you can use a PS4 controller on the PS3. It'll work. You have to wire, certain things won't work right out of the box, and you'll have to keep it wired for a bit, but they'll work with a PS3. So, but as far as I know, the DualSense for PS5 does not work on the PS4. It doesn't work, and I hate that the PS4 cut out the legacy controller support, because I would have just used a PS3 controller with my PS5 or my PS4, but they don't have legacy controller support. The PS3 did. So you could use a PS2 controller if you could plug it into an adapter. It'll work. But the PS4 does not have legacy controller support, which bums me out. Because I have a lot of PS3 controllers, and they all still work fine. Well, batteries are but whatever. Yeah, I went through the trouble to order new buttons for the controller, but I have no idea how the hell I'm doing. So I went and replaced my left bumper because it broke into. Ah, I see. And I have a couple of third party. One of my favorite third party controllers was the Hori mini pad for the PS4, but the triggers are cheap, and it's a cheaper controller, and the triggers are starting to go, and so I haven't used it in a long time. But that was my favorite PS4 controller. I used that forever. Anyways, sorry. Let's get back to the video.
Madcats paid $5 million to acquire GameShark, a
Ooh,
company that
yeah.
made plug-in devices and software
I had
that allowed
GameShark showing
players
up
to
too.
cheat their way through games. In 2007, Joytech and Saytech were two more major acquisitions.
Also, fun fact, the Game Shark will make your console region free. So I have a N64 Game Shark that I got when I was younger. If you put a Japanese N64 game in that, it will just play on the console. Now, the problem is the Game Shark, you have two Game Sharks. Yeah, we know the Nag, well, you did have more, but then the Nag lost his sexy pillow or whatever. Or not the Nag, sorry, the Mag, sorry. I actually one roll today when I was in Iceman Games, I saw that exact Game Shark or whatever you had. Two Game Sharks and two Game G's. Yeah, was it a Game Genie? Was the Game Gear one a Game Genie or a Game Shark? The Game Shark on N64. Yeah. So, anyways, the original thing I was saying, it's because the Game Shark is a pass through for the N64. There's no region locking in it. So, I have custom Robo on N64, and the way I'm able to play it in my North American console is I just use my Game Shark. Now, sometimes the Game Shark can be fickle, so it might take 2 or 3 tries to get it to go, but when it works great. So I also have a couple of other import N64 games that I use my Game Shark for. But yeah, anyways, back to the video.
Acquisitions at a combined $34 million, with Joytech being the gaming accessories unit of Take-Two Interactive Software, and Saytech being known mostly for their PC gaming peripherals, especially flight sticks.
That's funny.
And somewhere in the midst of all this, they found time to start publishing their own games, such as Real World
Madcats.
Golf. Naturally, this was an excuse to sell more controllers,
I kind of want
and with
that.
this one, it was the USB GameTrack Golf Club Motion Controller. And while they dabbled with motion controls for a couple years with the popularity of the Nintendo Wii, starting in 2008, Madcats dove headfirst into a lucrative new activity: license deals, not with console manufacturers, but with game properties themselves.
Here we go.
Partnering with Capcom, Madcats released a bunch of Street Fighter IV controllers, but the most notable of these was the Fight Stick.
This is the big thing.
arcade-style-
This is the big thing. Whenever somebody says that Madcats controllers suck, one of the first things is they made some of the best fight sticks. Like, professionals use their fight sticks to play Street Fighter 4 or 5, whatever. Like, or other fighting games. Their fight sticks are real nice. I've had the chance to use them. The fight stick that I own isn't a Madcats one. It's some other brand. I can't remember. But, like, their fight sticks are really nice. I remember going to the regular fight nights in my town for like Street Fighter 5 competitive and stuff like that, and they use fights and they were nice. I'm a controller player though, so I was better on controller, but I loved using the fight sticks. They were cool.
Controller cost $70 for the standard model and $150 for the tournament edition.
The tournament edition is the one I've used the most. It's really a solid fight stick. A solid fight stick. If you want a great fight stick for like 360 PS3, the tournament edition is great.
This was not only more costly than Madcat's usual fare, but it was actually good. The higher-end version used the exact same Sanwa joystick and 30mm buttons as the Street Fighter IV arcade machine, leading to notoriety in the esports world, and several esports have...
I had a Wii one, but I had to get rid of it. Sorry, no. And not only that, I had the Capcom fight stick for SNES, but I had to get rid of it as well because my mom said there was too much clutter. But I donated them to my buddy who ran a barcade and was a Evo player. And he would use his barcade to run the fight nights when they lost their previous locations. So I was like, he'll get use out of these fight sticks. So, and if I want to use them at all, I can just come back and use them. So I miss my Capcom stick, but I wasn't really using it, to be fair, and I'd rather give it to somebody who could actually use it. The young ladies don't play fighting games. Is that an actual game? With them in young ladies don't play, or is that a show? Is that an anime? It's a manga. Oh, right. Okay. Is that one of the Yuri ones? It's getting an anime this year? Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out. I really liked, what was the one? Not Arcade Gamer Fubuki. That's something different. If Chow's still listening, I may have perked his ears up. I have that on DVD. But what's it called? The Netflix one. It's about Street Fighter and stuff, and there's kids, and one of them's a rich girl. I can't think of the name of it right now. And it's Yuri. I figured. That's why you would know about it. God, what is it called? High Score Girl. That's the one. That show is really fucking good, especially if you like old school gaming stuff.
Events and sponsorships coming from Madcats over the following years. The developer Harmonix was next on the agenda, striking a deal with Madcats to release a bunch of officially licensed instruments for Rock Band in late 2008. These were arguably an improvement over the originals, with a microphone that included its own controller buttons, a portable drum kit that was much more compact and easy to move around than the full thing, and a bass guitar that looked a lot like an actual Fender Precision. In 2010, Madcats then acquired gaming audio company Triton, giving them an instant foothold into the growing realm of microphones and headsets. They continued to support personal computers as well with the release of the Cyborg Rat gaming mouse in 2010, the Eclipse touch-sensitive keyboard and gesture-controlled mouse, and acquired the VMAX Simulation Corporation, a flight sim developer, to help guide the development of future Saytech products. Then in 2013, they decided to cash in on the micro-console boom inspired by the
Here we go.
Which was at the time the second highest funded project on crowdfunding site Kickstarter.
God, remember the Ouya, guys? Does anybody remember the Ouya from like 12 years ago? Man, what a system. Same. Caitlin, I was the exact same. I wanted one but didn't have the money. And to dodge the bullet on that one, because there were other hardware consoles I backed and I never got. The one I can think of is the ZX Spectrum handheld. I backed that and I never got my console or a refund. So yeah, it had Final Fantasy 3, which was the main thing I wanted it for. It was also on DS.
Madcat's response was the Mojo.
I kind of want the Mojo
console that cost $250. It saw some success among Android modding enthusiasts, but projects like this and the Ouya quickly faded from the limelight even after hefty price drops. Making matters worse, it was not going so well behind the scenes at Madcats. They'd been in and out of debt since 2011, and by June of 2015, they'd announced to investors that they'd failed to meet their credit lender's monthly target on a $20 million loan. The bank decided to waive the violation, though, since Madcats had what they thought was an ace up their sleeve, Rock Band 4.
Yep.
Set to release in October, Madcats was betting the farm on the game performing well, not only manufacturing the instruments for the game, but going so far as to take care of the marketing and distribution worldwide as well. But it was not nearly enough to keep up with Madcats' mad credit problems. Even with a 55% uptick in sales from the previous year, they reported an $11.6 million loss. This was largely due to the lower than forecast Rock Band 4 sales, along with $8.3 million of unsold instrument.
I remember Rock Band 4 came out and it was dead in the water. Like, it made money, but like just no one cared. And to this day, people play Rock Band 3 and the other expansions for it way more. Like, I don't know anybody who plays Rock Band 4. My brother bought that Guitar Hero game that was on PS4. Yeah, I know you did, One Roll, but I mean in general, like the general person who bought it just to like play it every once in a while. Yes, Sab, there was a Rock Band 4. It came out for PS4 and Xbox One. It came out last generation. But like, I just like, nobody I know, compare that to Guitar Hero Live. That's the one my brother bought. I played it for a little bit. It's all right. But like, I'm like, for me, it wasn't for me because I'm like, if I want to play guitar, I'll just play my guitar. Like the whole thing with Guitar Hero Live is you had to plug in your own guitar. It was weird. I wasn't a big fan of that. But the little interface, the USB interface, is great. Oh, that's Rocksmith. Okay, that's the one he bought then. Rocksmith. Oh, no, wait. He did buy Guitar Hero Live, I think. And then he returned it, I think, if I recall. When I Guitar Hero, but my mom said I had to learn actual guitar first, but she made acoustic and I hated it. Here's the thing. Like, if anybody asks me if they want to learn guitar, I always tell them to start with the acoustic because it teaches you chords. It teaches you to, like, build. It also helps build your calluses. And those are the two things you're going to want to know going into guitar. I was stupid and learned electric guitar first. But I was 15 when I started playing it. And I already knew music theory. So I didn't have to, like... I already knew how to do all that stuff, so I was fine. I picked up electric pretty well as well. But like if I told somebody today, I would tell them to start with acoustic because acoustic teaches you have to learn things to set like on acoustic, and then you can go on to electric and you could probably be a pro after learning acoustic. So kept teaching me country songs. It was miserable. Oh, you know what's funny? This is just a memory I thought of. You know what my final exam for learning electric guitar was? My guitar teacher gave me The Trooper by Iron Maiden and told me I had to learn it. I still have muscle memory for that song. The only thing he said I didn't have to do was learn the solo, which because I was struggling with scales, and he's like, you don't have to do that part, but I want you to learn how to play like the rest of the song. And that song teaches you two things. It teaches you how to gallop, which if you don't know what that is, what learned in a year. Guitar is one of those things that I never like. I played guitar, acoustic guitar, for the first time, guitar in general, in like years, and I still had all the know-how to how to play it. The only thing that sucked is I lost my calluses, so my hand hurt after playing it. Like, how about we try and learn this song? And he was like, "Well, that's electric guitar. How about we sort of Sweet Home Alabama instead?" Which is not a country song, by the way. But anyways, the Trooper, I learned the Trooper because it taught you how to do galloping. If you don't know what that is, it's basically when you palm mute, which if you don't know what that is, it was like dun, 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 dun. It makes that sound. Dun, 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 dun. And galloping is when you go up and down really fast and it goes dun, 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 dun. That's why they call it galloping. So it teaches that song teaches you how to gallop, and it also teaches you finger exercises for like doing like lead parts. So and the main rhythm section of Alabama's in the country, but it's not a country song. Sweet Home Alabama is not a country song. If you want to know what a country song is, my dad, that's almost all he listens to. I forget who Sweet Home Alabama is by. It's by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah, they are not a country band. It is not a country song. Just because it's called Sweet Home Alabama. Probably Southern rock is what I would say. It's like if somebody said Maylene and the Sons of Disaster were a country band, I'm like, no, they are Southern metal. They are not. Just because they have a twang doesn't mean that they're country. You want country? Tim McGraw. Or Alan Jackson. Or Johnny Cash. That's country. Oddly popular genre in the 1970s. Well, I mean, country was really on an upswing then. Twang is my enemy. You would not like Bill Murray then, because they're a country core death metal country band. I do really like them, though. Anyways, so we got an ad here, so I'll wait before we go through the rest of the video. But yeah, like, The Trooper is a great song to learn on because it teaches you a lot about how to play certain songs. Even if you're not a fan of metal, like, it's pretty tame in terms of metal. It's funny because, like, heavy metal, like the genre of heavy metal is actually not that heavy. There are metal genres that are way heavier. So, no, the band Bill Murray It's spelled like this. My dad was a big fan of both classic rock and country, so I grew up around it. I don't really care for country that much. It's very specific stuff I like. But Bill Murray is one of the bands that I like. And they're not really even country. It's more like country core, which is like a version of metal. It's not even country music. It's metal. So, and he did non-country stuff beforehand. My dad was a DJ for a monthly bluegrass festival, and I had to always sit and listen to it for hours. Bluegrass can be kind of good though. It's not country as well. I need to say what I like. I missed that message. Fucking, god damn it, chat. Fucking Nightbot. God damn it, Nightbot. In fact, you know what, Nightbot? I'm just gonna delete your message. Don't think I need to say what I like and what I grew up with. I mean, I don't want to play a stereotype on you, Sab, but I think I know too. I just have a hunch. Just based on your background. You're fine. Immediately posting a second message. Nightbot is getting wild. I gotta edit Nightbot and see what's going on. Anyways, y'all are back from the ad, so let's continue the video.
Inventory languishing in warehouses. The writing was on the wall after Harmonix dropped Madcats as distributor and partnered with Performance Digital Products instead. Even with Madcats laying off 37% of their staff, their CEO and chairman resigning, and selling off the Saytech brand to Logitech, their stock prices plummeted down to an abysmal 4 cents a share. The New York Stock Exchange delisted them entirely on March 23rd, 2017, and that was that. 1 week later, Madcats' board of directors voted to declare Chapter 7 bankruptcy, meaning that everything they owned would be liquidated to pay off their debts. And just like that, a company with an almost 30-year history vanished overnight. Madcats was gone. Will they be missed? Probably not by very many. While they did make a few excellent products over the years, there's no shortage of other manufacturers that continue to provide the same types of things at a similar price point. Madcats is more of a cautionary tale than anything else, showing just what can happen to even the largest name in their category when people lose sight of what made the company succeed in the first place and fail to recognize the interests of a rapidly changing market.
And it's funny because Madcats is back now. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what products they're going to be working on, but you could have aimed for majority shareholder, exactly. But they got shut down, so your shares would have been worth nothing. 4 cents a share is pretty abysmal. But it's Madcats isn't all bad. Like, they get a reputation for being bad, but as you guys saw, they had some good products as well. I enjoyed some of the products they made back in the day. And I thought their fight sticks were pretty good too. So, anyways, I am finished eating in the middle of that video, and we paused a lot. So we should get to the actual meat and potatoes of tonight's stream. But I'm going to just quickly take a quick break. I'm going to go to the washroom. I'm going to set everything up, and we'll go from there. So while I'm doing that, you guys can watch something. Maybe that Pantsu Hunter video. I'll put that on. You guys can actually watch that. Sound good? Okay. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go set everything up.